About the game, tough one. We knew we had our hands full coming in against a strong team. They definitely hit the ball well in the first inning. Marcos, hasn't given up that many hits like that in a while, and they were definitely geared up. He missed his spots, and listen, when you miss your spots to a good hitting team, then that's what happens. And we went with Murphy quick because the plan was to maybe throw some off speed at him and just keep him off balance. And the kid probably has thrown maybe 4 innings in varsity all year, and he's been on JV all year. So to put him in that spot was definitely difficult. But I just felt that we had to roll the dice in that situation and try to keep these guys off speed, off the front foot, and I think it worked. He did a great job, excellent job by Brendan. I think the kid grew a lot in this game, and other than that, towards the end of the inning there, we play aggressive. We've been doing that all year. I got, one of the guys, I think I had one or two of the guys have green lights on the bases. My two best base stealers, and Graziano's obviously one of them. He thought he made it on third. It was a bang call. It was very close, and we rolled the dice and it didn't work out. But that's baseball. It is what it is. We went down fighting, and that's the way we played all year. And there's no reason to change it when we get to the state semifinal, because that's what got us here.
For you to put Brennan in that situation real early, obviously Marcos it was just not his day.
Yeah.
For a guy who only comes in throwing 6 innings, just to put him in that spot,
Yeah.
Could you have asked for a better outing from him, just especially given the circumstances?
Absolutely not. He's Brendan is, he actually had a little injury this year that, why that's one of the reasons why we didn't bring him up earlier in the varsity. But, in that kind of spot, he's pretty cool as ice when, we've seen it in practice. He's been moved up now in varsity for, at least 3 weeks now. And in that situation, the plan going into the game was Murphy early and Bello late. Bello's kind of our closer. He's been our closer all year. So, and the reason why we did that, we didn't want to go, another hard righty, then a lefty. We wanted to kind of mix it up. One of those things where you just try to keep the hitters off, off balance. But hey, listen, Jesuit is Jesuit. They haven't won 5 state titles because they stink. They know what they're doing. They have their first 5-6 hitters were, amazing. And you miss spots against guys like that, then they're going to make you pay. And and that's what happened. I think Marcos was probably a little amped up, and I think when you're amped up as a starting pitcher, you get some pitches up, and when you get pitches up against guys like that, they can hurt you.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your guys' approach against Jamie Arnold that started?
Yeah. Well, I thought our approach was great, to be honest with you, because, the kid had probably 100 pitches, like in the 5th inning, and so the plan going in was to make him throw strikes. We knew that he was their ace, and we knew that he was a bulldog, that he would go deep into the game. But I felt in the beginning of the game we took a lot of pitches, and we certainly fouled a bunch of pitches off. And I thought we were getting to him. He got a little bit tired there, and we finally got him out of there. But the kid, listen, he's going to FSU. You don't go to FSU because, you don't know what you're doing. So he knew what he was doing, but that was the plan, the approach was to take some pitches and try to get him deep into the game. And it worked out. I certainly didn't bank on, getting down 4-0 in the first inning, but that was the plan offensively, and I thought our kids battled to the very end.
Brendan, can you talk a little bit about being a sophomore and with only 6 varsity innings and hearing that you're going to get the call early in this game? Did you expect it to come into a situation that was that dicey?
Not originally. I thought Marcos would go pretty far into the game, but baseball, a lot of unexpected things happen, and I just tried to keep my rub the nerves off and go in there and throw strikes and do my job.
Your curveball seemed to be working really well against, as he mentioned, the top 6. It was the 7, Josh Hines and guys who seemed to find little things, but you managed to maintain and manage those tough situations. Talk to me about the approach you had once they got base runners on.
Once they got base runners on, I just got to have the same mentality as whenever there's not base runners on. I got to keep pitching like it's a 0-0 game and keep competing against every single batter in their order.
Yeah.
Riley, that 2-run double there kind of really changed the complexion there, it looked like. Cut the lead in half. You guys were really starting to put pressure on at that time against John Abraham. Can you just describe what you saw in that pitch? It seemed like you were sitting fastball a lot in that at bat, and you found the hole and you got it to deep left field.
Yeah, it was a ball right down the middle. It wasn't fast. It was just down the middle. Saw all of it.
And I mean, for that momentum change to happen, I mean, you guys had held them for scoreless for, I think at that time it was 5 innings. Actually 4, but can you just, what did you guys start to see, later on in the game? I mean, you guys really started to make contact. Do you think it was more the pitching change, just seeing a righty throwing a little bit of a flat fastball, or I mean,
Yeah,
what did you guys kinda see?
there's no doubt. I mean, and really, overall we've kind of struggled against lefties, but we've gotten better towards the end of the season. Now, when we got him out, I felt good. Even though we were down 4 and with Riley up, I had a feeling that he was going to hit the ball hard. Then we still had men on base with minimum outs, and we got a couple blue pits here and there. One of our guys on second didn't get a very good read on the blue pit down the left, because if he did, I would have sent him there. But being down 2 runs still at that time, I had to hold him up. He didn't get a good jump. And then I have a good bunter up, and DiGiacomo, who's a very good bunter. We tried to bunt there, and then he kind of bunted at some bad pitches on the guy's breaking ball. And then I was going to maybe wait for a ball and then try the bunt again. And then, of course, he swung at the next pitch that put us down 0-2, and then I felt that we were in trouble at that point. I don't want to try to bunt there on an 0-2 pitch. But Gian's one of our good bunters. He's been a good bunter all year, and he just happened to try to bunt at a bad pitch, and that was a bad break for us there.
Kind of picking up on that inning. I mean, Ollie was inches away from tying the game. I mean, just how tough was it to kind of digest that? And just, I mean, in the short term there, I mean, you guys eventually put pressure on again in the 7th.
Yeah, like I had a chance to pinch hit CJ Russell at the end. He was our number 9 hitter. Yeah, not number 9 hitter came up, and CJ's a senior. And I kind of, he's the righty that was throwing against us. That was the ones that CJ, does well on. And CJ is a senior. He's been around, and in that situation right there, I felt that he was going to hit the ball hard. I just had a feeling he was. And, listen, 2 inches above the guy's mitt, and the game's tied, and then we got a whole new ball game. But you can't fault CJ on something like that. He hit the ball hard, and that's what happens. And once again, that's baseball. I thought what the big blow was actually when they scored a run at the end of the game there. The pinch hitter that comes off the bench cold and makes a nice hit after the bunt. I thought that was a huge play by Jesuit.
For you guys to put up this type of fight, I mean, you told me 2 days ago that you guys knew you were heavy underdogs against this team.
Yeah.
Just for the fight, that you guys put in against this team, I mean, what can you just say about the effort today?
I mean, even when we were down 4, and then and Brennan came in and started keeping them off speed, I kept telling the dugout, we're not out of this yet. Just let's get this lefty with high pitch count, and let's see what kind of bullpen they got. At the end, they had to throw their number 2 guy at us, and he was supposed to start on Saturday. So I don't know how many pitches he threw, but they obviously had to go to him to get the game over with. So I just kept telling the guys in the dugout, let's just keep grinding, and and see what happens. And we actually laid a couple bunts down and tried to put some pressure on them. And like we talked about the other day, Alex, this team fights. I knew we were going to fight. I knew we were going to make a run sooner or later. We had to hold them. And when to try to hold a Jesuit team to 5 runs, if you look, their past 6 games, they've 10 run to everybody. I mean, that's not no fluke. When you 10 run people in the regionals, you're doing something right. I mean, we knew that they were a powerhouse for sure. And so to hold them down for 5 runs after 4 in the first, I give a lot of kudos to our guys for hanging in there. We could have bagged it right there and said, oh, well, we made it this far. Let's just, let's leave graciously. But no, we fought, and I had a feeling that we were going to do that. We've been doing that all year.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much for your
Okay.
time. Congrats
All right.
again.